Assalamu alaikum ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. So in this video I'm going to show you how you could use Boost program options because we're making a weather application, and the first step is of course to install VC package, like install Boost through VC package, which we did in previous video. Please watch that first. Other than that, today we're going to be parsing user command line arguments using a Boost library called program options. And we'll go from there to creating an HTTPS client in the next videos using Boost ASIO. Anyways, let's keep going, of course with coroutines too, so keep watching for that video. Anyways, let's see how we do this. First of all, make sure that you have VC package and that you add Boost-program-options to your dependencies. Next step, what we're going to do is in our CMake, we're going to say find package. If you haven't already found the package Boost, then do this. And of course, we want it required. And in the components list, if you have added Boost before, like ASIO would work just fine without adding ASIO. In fact, if you added ASIO here, would actually not work because ASIO wouldn't be a valid option because it's not actually a binary library that you link to. It's just header only, right? But in our case, we want program options, which is not header only. You need to actually link it properly. So you're gonna say components program-options, or actually program this, right? Cool. Next up, what we're gonna do, we're gonna of course link that. So target link libraries, my CMake target application is called weather, as you can see, main.cpp. I'm gonna say private, and here I'm gonna say Boost with a capital B. And then I'm gonna say program options. There we go, perfect. Now I'm just gonna refresh my CMake and it should be good to go. If you have added Boost before, if you used like ASIO or something else, then adding program options would be instant, right? Would be instant. But if you haven't, it would take a while. Other than that, let's see how we could do this. Well, first of all, we're gonna need include Boost program options.hpp. Right. Next step, we're gonna also need include iostream for cout and cerr. And if you want to, you could also include print, which is of the new C++ 20 or I think 23. Anyways, next step, we're gonna say namespace po. This is just like a shortcut, right? So namespace po is equal to Boost program options. Perfect. Now let's create our main function, which we're going to get our argc and argv, which is of course the arguments that the client gave, but it's not parsed yet, obviously, so we have to parse it using Boost. So char argv. There we go, and we're going to return exit success here, and there you go. Now, let's first of all describe our options. So how we do that? Well, we get to say program, well, options description here. There you go. Options descriptions, and you just say options description dot add options, and after that you just call it using the name of the option that you want. In my case, it's going to be latitude, comma, and then you give it like a smaller name with one character, right? So for me, I'm going to say L, or you could just not do it, but for me, let's just add it, right? And here you say the description, or you add a variable where it's going to put the value that the user gave. In our case, we do want the value, so we're going to say double latitude and longitude. Right, now what we're going to say here is PO, well, instead of description, we're going to say, well, actually, let's start by help, really. Let's start by help, comma, this is the help, pretty much. So as you can see here, there's no value. It's just like a flag, right? Does it exist or it does not exist, basically, right? Next step, what we're going to say is latitude. There you go. But before the description this time, we're going to use the value here. So latitude dot, PO value. Right. And we're just going to give it the address of latitude. So where it's going to put the value. And then, of course, the description. I'm just going to call it latitude. You could make a bigger description if you want. And again, we're going to call the same thing again with the other option. So longitude comma O. You can only use one character for the short one, basically. So PO value longitude, comma longitude, and of course semicolon. Perfect. So what we're gonna do next is I'm not sure what's wrong with that. Anyways, never mind. So it's fixed now. Great. All right, so we basically described the options that we want. There's more to this, but this is only things we need for now. So what we're gonna do next is PO store. Store what? We're gonna basically parse the command line arguments. So parse command line, or you could go with the config file. And so here we're just gonna pass in the argc, the argv, and then a variables map. If you notice there, variables map. And let's basically create that variables map. This is basically where our options will live, right? It's like basically a dictionary of our options. So variables map. And yeah, I think you probably need a reference now. Whoops, not here. This one we need to give it like the options description. There you go. And here we gotta give it the variables map. Yep, there we go. Cool. Now this could actually throw an exception, like if let's say, so here it is implied that this is double from the actual like double variable here, just to kind of emphasize that. Now basically if Boost couldn't convert that value into a double that the user gave in the command line, then it's gonna basically throw an exception here, right? So we're gonna basically try and catch the exception. So std exception e, and we're gonna basically say CERR, and so of course this is like the error stream basically. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna say e.watch, and there you go, done. All right, cool. Next up, what we also gotta do is PO notify. Now what this notify would do, basically, variables map, what it would do would basically make sure that the bound variables right here would get updated to the correct variables in the map, to the values in the map, right? So these would have actual values here instead of just garbage by the point, like by the moment we actually call notify, right? Cool. Now, before that, what we could also do is if we find help in the variables map, so if variables map dot contains help, so the help flag that we added first here, that of course have no value. So if that's the case, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and print the options description, which would go ahead and basically print the help argument. And yeah, that's essentially it, I think. And next step, what we're gonna do is we're gonna return exit success here. And here also after the error, we're actually gonna return exit failure. Other than that, yeah, I think we're good. At this point. So if everything goes well, what we're gonna do right now, we could actually use our values that we got in our here basically. So longitude, latitude, yeah, okay, latitude, comma longitude is this, comma, and here lat long, and there you go. There you go. Perfect. Now if we try to actually build this, now let me try to use it. So /build/weather, and here I could say, I could just call it like that, and it would just basically use the default values that I gave. Well, I actually didn't give any default values here. So if you want to give a default value, what you could, or instead of default value, you could also say it required dash required. So if you say that and you build this app and you try it now without any arguments, then as you can see, the option latitude is required but missing. So we actually threw a I wonder, did it in the wait. Yeah, apparently notify 2 could throw out exceptions. So as you can see, the option dash latitude is required but missing. Cool. Very cool. All right. So otherwise, you could also, instead of required, you could say default value and give it a default value. So in my case, let's say we want the latitude and longitude of Casablanca. So what we could do is could grab this, and there you go, and this, and give it here. And of course, well, this should be default value, right? Cool. And that's basically it. Now if we build this and try again, as you can see right now, it's using the default values. So if I go ahead and say -L to -03, as you can see, the latitude is 2, longitude is 3. This is the ones that we've added here, basically. You could also add -H here for help. But yeah, other than that, you could also use the longer names using -- latitude. And there you go. It's pretty much the same exact thing. And that's basically it. You could also fetch these values manually by basically doing variables map latitude dot as double, and that would work too, I believe. Let's see. So I built that, and as you can see, it's still working the exact same way. And I believe we don't even need the notify if we do it that way. Let's try this out. As you can see, the latitude worked just fine because we actually used this way of doing it. But the longitude didn't work because we didn't call the notify function, which actually updates those variables. So yeah, that's basically it, guys, for this video. So in the next video, we're going to be creating basically an HTTPS client using Boost, ASIO, and C++ 20 coroutines. So see you in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.